Welcome to Miss Scarlett. Subscribe and don't miss out on Patreon. Have fun! In the shadowy midnight hours, a lone figure stood before the antique dresser, where an aged mirror's reflective surface unleashed a torrent of memories and desires. Auburn locks fell gracefully across a face marked by the twilight between genders, a face he wished could be hidden, yet visible. This was Oliver, aglow under the soft incandescence of a light that cast no judgment. His eyes, like onyx pools, reflected the depths of his soul. He saw a countenance that whispered secrets of a person yearning to be freed. With deliberate movements, Oliver's fingers, imbued with a lifetime of untold stories, reached out to unlock a clandestine cache, an act of ritualistic significance. He leaned closer to the mirror, uncapping the eyeliner with a practiced motion. The tip of the pencil hovered near his lash line, a moment of hesitation before he began the careful process of applying it. The first stroke was always the hardest, requiring a steady hand and unwavering concentration. Oliver's tongue peeked out slightly from the corner of his mouth as he focused, drawing a thin line along his upper lashes. Each pass of the pencil felt like an act of defiance against the expectations that had been placed upon him since childhood. As he worked, memories flooded back, the disapproving looks from his father when he'd shown interest in his mother's makeup as a child, the teasing from classmates when he'd experimented with nail polish in his teens. Those experiences had driven Oliver to bury this part of himself deep inside, to present a facade of traditional masculinity to the world. But here, in the privacy of his bathroom, he could finally let that mask slip away. The eyeliner became a tool of transformation, not just altering his appearance but allowing glimpses of his true self to shine through. Oliver stepped back, examining his handiwork. The lines weren't perfect. They never were on the first try, but there was an undeniable artistry to them. The subtle wing at the outer corner of each eye added a touch of drama, making his brown eyes appear larger and more expressive. For a moment, he allowed himself to imagine a different life, one where he could walk out of this bathroom proudly wearing the makeup he'd applied. In that alternate reality, he wouldn't be Oliver anymore. No, in that world, she would be Mary. The name had come to him in a dream months ago, feeling right in a way that Oliver never had. Mary. It whispered of grace, of femininity, of a self he longed to fully embrace. Oliver, or perhaps in this moment, Mary, reached for a damp cloth to remove the eyeliner. It was a bittersweet ritual, erasing the visible signs of this secret self. But the memory of how it felt, how right it looked, lingered long after the makeup was gone. As he prepared for bed that night, Oliver made a decision. He would no longer be content with these fleeting moments of self-expression. It was time to take the next step, to learn and improve his makeup skills. If he couldn't yet show the world who he truly was, he could at least perfect the art for himself. Over the following weeks, Oliver threw himself into studying makeup techniques with a passion that surprised even him. He scoured online tutorials, watching video after video on the intricacies of eyeliner application. The winged eyeliner, in particular, became his holy grail, a technique that seemed to embody the perfect balance of subtlety and boldness he craved. Late at night, when the rest of the world slept, Oliver practiced. He experimented with different angles, pressures, and movements, determined to master the perfect flick. There were moments of frustration, times when he wanted to give up, but the joy he felt when he finally achieved a symmetrical pair of wings was indescribable. As his skills improved, so did his confidence. The person he saw in the mirror during these private sessions began to align more closely with the person he felt inside. It wasn't just about the makeup. It was about allowing himself to exist, even if only for brief moments, as Mary. One evening, as Oliver sat at his computer browsing makeup forums, an idea began to take shape. He had learned so much from others sharing their knowledge online. What if he could do the same? What if he could create a space to not only showcase his growing skills, but also to connect with others who might be on similar journeys? The concept of a blog took root, growing stronger with each passing day. Oliver envisioned a platform where he could share tutorials, tips, and perhaps, eventually, his own story. But the thought of putting himself out there, of potentially being recognized, filled him with equal parts excitement and terror. It took weeks of internal debate before Oliver finally took the plunge. Late one night, fueled by a surge of courage, he created a new email address under the name Mary. With shaking hands, he set up a blog, choosing a template that felt both elegant and welcoming. The title came to him in a flash of inspiration. 4 Mom Teaches Eyeliner Techniques. It was a nod to his journey, to the skills he wished his own mother had been able to share with him. And perhaps, he thought, it might resonate with others who were seeking guidance and acceptance. Oliver, now fully embracing the persona of Mary online, spent hours crafting her first post. She shared basic eyeliner techniques, peppered with personal anecdotes about her own learning process. As she wrote, she felt a weight lifting from her shoulders. Here, in this digital space, she could be herself without fear of judgment. The response to Mary's first post was small but encouraging. A handful of comments praised her clear instructions and approachable style. It was enough to spur her on, to keep creating content and sharing her growing knowledge. As weeks turned into months, Mary's blog began to gain traction. Her tutorials on achieving the perfect winged eyeliner became particularly popular, with readers praising her patient, step-by-step approach. Mary found herself spending more and more time engaged with her growing online community, answering questions and offering encouragement to those just starting their makeup journeys. But as her online presence as Mary flourished, Oliver's everyday life began to feel increasingly constrained. The disparity between his online identity and his public persona grew more pronounced with each passing day. He longed to bring Mary into the real world, to fully embrace the person he knew himself to be. The decision to transition wasn't made lightly. Oliver spent countless nights researching, reaching out to support groups, and soul-searching. But with each step he took toward living authentically, the more right it felt. He began with small changes, growing out his auburn hair, subtly altering his wardrobe to include more androgynous pieces. He found a therapist who specialized in gender identity issues, working through years of repressed emotions and internalized expectations. The day Oliver, now fully embracing her identity as Mary, decided to come out to her family was one of the most terrifying of her life. She chose a quiet Sunday afternoon, inviting her parents over for coffee. Her hands shook as she poured the drinks, steeling herself for the conversation ahead. "Mom, Dad," she began, her voice barely above a whisper. "There's something important I need to tell you." The next hour was a blur of tears, questions, and moments of uncomfortable silence. Mary did her best to explain her journey, to help them understand that this wasn't a phase or a choice, but a fundamental truth about who she was. Her mother's reaction was a mix of confusion and concern, peppered with questions about what this meant for Mary's future. Her father sat in stunned silence for long stretches, his expression unreadable. "I'm still the same person," Mary assured them, fighting back tears. "I'm just finally able to be honest about who I am." The conversation ended without resolution, her parents needing time to process this revelation. As they left, Mary's mother hugged her tightly, whispering, "We love you. We just need some time." In the weeks that followed, Mary threw herself into her transition and her blog with equal fervor. She began hormone therapy, documenting the physical and emotional changes on her platform. Her followers responded with an outpouring of support, many sharing their own stories of transition or self-discovery. Mary's eyeliner tutorials evolved, incorporating tips for different eye shapes and discussing how hormone therapy might affect makeup application. She branched out into other areas of makeup artistry, always maintaining the warm, instructional tone that had become her trademark. As her confidence grew, so did her willingness to share more personal aspects of her journey. She wrote about the challenges of coming out, the joy of finally seeing herself reflected in the mirror, and the ongoing process of self-acceptance. One post, titled "The Power of Winged Eyeliner, More Than Just Makeup," resonated particularly strongly with her audience. In it, Mary wrote about how mastering this technique had been a catalyst for her own self-discovery. "Each time I drew that perfect wing, I was drawing a little more of my true self into existence. It wasn't just about the makeup. It was about having the courage to see myself as I truly am, and to let that self be seen by the world." The post went viral, shared across social media platforms, and discussed in online forums. Mary found herself flooded with messages from people thanking her for putting into words what they had felt but struggled to express. As her online presence grew, so did opportunities in the real world. A local LGBTQ+ organization invited her to speak at an event, sharing her story and offering makeup tips to others in the trans community. Standing at the podium, Mary felt a surge of pride and purpose. She was no longer hiding. She was helping others find the courage to be themselves. Her relationship with her parents remained complicated, but there were signs of progress. Her mother began to ask questions about makeup, tentatively bridging the gap between them. Her father, though still struggling, made an effort to use Mary's chosen name and pronouns. 1 year after starting her blog, Mary decided to take another leap. She announced to her followers that she would be doing her first live video tutorial. The thought of being seen in real time, of potentially stumbling over her words or messing up a technique, filled her with nervous energy. On the day of the live stream, Mary sat before her camera, taking deep breaths to calm her nerves. She had chosen a simple black top, wanting the focus to be on her makeup rather than her outfit. Her auburn hair, now long enough to brush her shoulders, was styled in soft waves. As the viewers began to join, Mary felt a rush of affection for this community she had built. She began the tutorial, demonstrating her signature winged eyeliner technique while chatting with her audience. Their encouraging comments scrolled by, filling her with warmth. Midway through the stream, a familiar name popped up in the chat. Mom had joined the broadcast. Mary faltered for a moment, her hand pausing mid-stroke. Then, gathering her courage, she smiled at the camera. "Welcome, Mom," she said, her voice full of emotion. "I'm so glad you're here. This one's for you. Let me show you how to create the perfect wing." As Mary continued the tutorial, she felt a sense of completion. The journey that had begun in secret, with a hidden eyeliner pencil and a mirror, had led her here, to a place of openness, authenticity, and self-love. The stream ended with an outpouring of supportive messages. Mary signed off, her heart full. She checked her phone to find a text from her mother. "You looked beautiful, sweetheart. Maybe you can show me in person sometime?" Mary smiled, tears pricking at the corners of her perfectly lined eyes. It wasn't a fairy tale ending. There were still challenges ahead, still days when the weight of societal expectations felt heavy. But she had found her voice, her community, and most importantly, herself. As she looked in the mirror, Mary saw not just the flawless winged eyeliner she had created, but the strength and beauty of her true self shining through. She was Mary, eyeliner expert, blogger, daughter, and woman. Finally, unequivocally, herself. The success of Mary's live stream marked a turning point in both her personal life and her online presence. The vulnerability she had shown, coupled with her undeniable skill, endeared her even more to her growing audience. Requests for more live tutorials flooded in, along with invitations to collaborate with other makeup artists and LGBTQ+ content creators. Mary embraced these opportunities with open arms, while also maintaining the intimate, educational tone that had been the cornerstone of her blog. She began a series called Beyond the Wing, where she explored more advanced makeup techniques while continuing to weave in elements of her personal journey. One particularly popular video featured Mary teaching contouring techniques while discussing the ways in which makeup had helped her navigate her changing facial features during hormone therapy. She spoke candidly about the challenges and joys of seeing her appearance slowly align with her inner self. "Contouring isn't about changing who you are," she explained, carefully blending along her cheekbones. "It's about enhancing and celebrating the features that make you uniquely you. For me, it's been a way to highlight the changes I'm experiencing and to feel more at home in my own skin." As her platform grew, Mary found herself becoming an unexpected advocate for the trans community. She used her increased visibility to speak out on issues affecting trans individuals, from healthcare access to workplace discrimination. Her approach, grounded in personal experience and delivered with warmth and honesty, resonated with people from all walks of life. Mary's relationship with her parents continued to evolve. True to her word, her mother asked for an in-person makeup lesson. The afternoon they spent together, Mary patiently guiding her mother's hand as she attempted her first winged eyeliner, became a cherished memory for both of them. Her father's journey to acceptance was slower, marked by small steps forward and occasional setbacks. But the day he awkwardly complimented Mary's makeup, noting that her eyeliner looked very neat, felt like a significant breakthrough. As Mary's second year of blogging approached, she decided to take on her most ambitious project yet, a comprehensive online course teaching not just makeup techniques, but also self-acceptance and empowerment. She called it Lining Your Own Path, Makeup, Identity, and Self-Expression. The course development process was intense, requiring long hours and pushing Mary to dig deep into her own experiences. She covered everything from basic skincare to advanced color theory, interspersing the technical lessons with modules on self-love, body positivity, and navigating social expectations. One module, titled The Face You Show the World, dealt specifically with the challenges of expressing one's true self in various social and professional settings. Mary drew from her own experiences of gradually introducing Mary to the world while still navigating life as Oliver. "There's no one right way to express your identity," she emphasized in the video. "Whether you're out in every aspect of your life or still finding safe spaces to be yourself, your journey is valid. Makeup can be armor, it can be expression, it can be art. But most importantly, it should be a choice that makes you feel empowered." The launch of the course coincided with the second anniversary of Mary's blog. To celebrate, she organized a virtual makeup party, inviting her followers to join her in creating festive looks. The event was a joyous celebration of creativity and community, with participants from around the world sharing their creations and stories. As Mary wrapped up the live stream, surrounded by a digital collage of smiling faces adorned with colorful makeup, she felt a profound sense of gratitude. What had begun as a secret outlet for self-expression had blossomed into a vibrant community and a platform for change. The next day, Mary received an unexpected email. A major cosmetics company had taken notice of her work and wanted to discuss a potential collaboration. They were impressed not just by her makeup skills, but by the inclusive, empowering message she promoted. The prospect was both thrilling and daunting. Mary had never envisioned herself as the face of a makeup brand. She worried about maintaining her authenticity while stepping into a more commercial role. After much contemplation and discussions with trusted friends, she decided to take the meeting. The collaboration that emerged from those discussions was groundbreaking. Mary worked with the company to develop a line of products specifically designed for individuals going through transition, with a portion of the proceeds going to LGBTQ+ youth organizations. The campaign featured diverse models and focused on the transformative power of self-expression. As Mary stood on set for the campaign photo shoot, she couldn't help but reflect on how far she had come. She remembered the frightened person who had once hidden eyeliner pencils at the back of a drawer, too afraid to be seen. Now, here she was, confidently facing the cameras, her winged eyeliner perfect and her auburn hair styled in soft waves. The makeup artist touched up Mary's lipstick, a shade she had helped develop called Authentic Red. As the photographer called for the next shot, Mary took a deep breath and smiled, radiating the inner beauty and confidence she had worked so hard to cultivate. Later that evening, as Mary uploaded behind-the-scenes content from the shoot to her blog, she received a text from her father. "Saw a billboard with your face on it today," it read. "You look happy. I'm proud of you." Tears welled up in Mary's eyes, smudging the eyeliner she hadn't yet removed. But for once, she didn't mind the imperfection. It was a reminder of the beautiful, messy, authentic journey that had brought her to this moment. As she looked at her reflection in the computer screen, Mary saw not just her own transformation, but the potential for change she could inspire in others. With steady hands and an open heart, she was ready to continue lining her own path and helping others find theirs.
Thanks for watching, my girlies! Be sure to check out Patreon for more!